Hey, hi, Dr. Ravi Kumar and Dr. Biswa. Sir, we are not able to hear you. I'm not able to hear you. Can you just
Hi, sir.
Sir.
Am I audible now, sir?
yeah, you are very much audible, sir. So
Sir,
shall
you can
we?
start now. Slowly, participants are increasing.
Okay.
So you can start, sir. They will join one by one.
Okay. Shall we start, sir? Bharani, sir?
Yeah, yes, Ravi, sir. We can start.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Resource person for today's webinar, Sri Bharani Kumar D, Director, Innodatatics Inc, USA. Patrons of this webinar, uh, Director Dr. Surya Rao, sir, Chairperson Mrs. Jayalakshmi Madam, Co-convener for this program, Dr. Niranjan Patro, coordinators Dr. Mohan Sahu and Dr. J. Shruti, staff members of RIPS, and my dear participants. Good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, I welcome all of you to this webinar on artificial intelligence and its applications in pharmaceutical science, organized by Roland Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences in association with 360 Dizzy TMG. I'm very happy that we have received a good response for this webinar. Around 750 candidates have registered their names to participate in this webinar. And as you all know that artificial intelligence is the intelligence demonstrated by machines, unlike the natural intelligence displayed by humans and animals. And AI is having several applications in pharmacy, which include drug discovery, imaging and radiology, and several others. And I want to tell you that in the recently concluded final semester examinations by our university, Vijayapatnam University of Technology, uh, they have also used AI, artificial intelligence, to conduct online examinations. So I'm very much sure that in the coming future, artificial intelligence takes a crucial role in all of our lives. And I'm very privileged to introduce today's resource person, Sri Bharani Kumar D, who is an alumnus of the prestigious institutions Indian School of Business and IIT. He is having 15 years of industry experience with 8 years of extensive experience in training. He completed various technical and management international certifications. He is a thorough implementer with abilities in business analytics, quality management, project management, etc. He possesses excellent communication skills and has capability to explain toughest concepts in a very lucid way. He successfully delivered 40 plus big data and analytics engagements and trained over 4,000 professionals across the globe. He has several professional credentials. He worked as chief data scientist in various organizations like Athena Technologies, Millimed, Bronto Byte Analytics, and 6bit. He is also a visiting faculty of Oxen Business School. So with this, I thank all of you for participating in this webinar. And thanks to Bharani Kumar for choosing RIPS as a platform to deliver this useful and important information. And I thank all of you, and I wish this webinar a useful one for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ravi, for introducing and setting the context. Can you get started, or Dr. Ravi?
Please, sir,
Yes, sir.
you can start.
Yes,
Sure,
you
sure.
can start.
Thank you so much. So let me do one thing. Let me share my screen once again, and let me share my entire screen so that I quickly explain about a couple of things before we proceed further. So thank you so much, sir, for introducing me to the audience, and let me show you my profile very quickly. I happen to be an Industrial Revolution 4.0 implementer, chief data scientist and technology advisor for 4 different companies, out of which 6 is a Malaysian company. Brontobite Analytics is a company specialized in life sciences healthcare. They're also doing some work in the space of pharmaceutical, uh, you know, related work. Athena Technologies has another child company, I would say. It is called as MedliMed. They are also doing a lot of work in the space of pharma as well. So I'm very proud to associate myself with these kind of companies. Right? And if any one of you wants to connect with me, here is my LinkedIn profile. I will quickly post that on the chat window. You can connect with me and ask your questions if you have any. Having said that, what I also keep doing is whenever we do any projects, I keep posting it on the social media. And if I were to show you one specific post, that post is into the space of life sciences healthcare analytics, and we have done pharmaceutical analytics there. Come on. Yeah, here it is. So what we have done is, not pharmaceutical analytics exactly, but COVID-19 is a call of the season. Right? Everyone is speaking about COVID-19 in the world that we live in. And do you know what? 5 months back, we have built a forecasting model to forecast the number of COVID-19 cases. And we got an accuracy of 98%. And this we have done in collaboration with Apollo Hospitals. This was before the government directive that we should not be doing anything pertaining to forecasting or anything to do with COVID-19 cases. But do you know what? Even the customer who ultimately wanted this project from Korea, South Korean client, they were simply amazed with the kind of results which we have shown them by implementing data science and AI concepts in forecasting the number of COVID-19 cases. Back then, when we forecasted, okay, 5 months back, people were like, oh my God, number of cases would not increase. There is lockdown. The number of cases would decrease. What are you speaking about 30 lakh cases? Well, how can 30 lakh cases ever reach? And a lot of people, were actually amazed by looking at those kind of numbers. But today we can confidently say that whatever forecasting we have done is bang on target. If you want to watch this video, um, I would say go to 360 Digit MG, our website, and when you scroll down, you will see our YouTube channel. You need to click on that, and all you need to do is only 2 things. One is just subscribe, because we keep conducting a lot of sessions, and click on these two, and then you will be able to watch these videos. So let me quickly post that also, just in case you are interested to know that. And oh, okay, I will prove you this, that I usually use a very fast internet connection. Let me quickly prove this. Let me take half a second, half a minute. Look at the speed that I'm using, friends. And I'm sure there won't be a lot of fluctuations. If there are any fluctuations, do let me know. But I'm sensing that I do not have any internet connection issue as such, right? So it's pretty good, 100 Mbps speed. Okay, back to our discussion. So yeah, when it comes to pharmaceutical companies or life sciences healthcare, basically, why are companies going gaga about data? Why are companies so crazy about data? The reason being, the size of the devices that we have been using is shrinking, and the capacity of the devices is increasing multifold. In the good old days, people were using data centers. Now data centers are being replaced by quantum computers. And you know what? The computing speed is increasing at a rapid pace. The amount of data that can be stored is also increasing at a rapid pace. The network capacity, the images, the quality of the images, everything is increasing in a very big way. And this is the kind of data which is getting generated when it comes to life sciences healthcare industry, right? And pharma included. Administrative data, clinical data, insurance data, hospital EMR data, physician EMR data, therapeutic clinical data, wearable devices data, hospital maintenance data, preclinical trials, major organ toxicity, right? Acute and chronic toxicity, carcinogenicity, you name it basically, friends. There is data, data, data everywhere. When it comes to life sciences, we have microscopy images, genomics data, genetic data. What would you do with that data? Is a point that we need to think about, right? And there are healthcare smart devices, organ on the chip. They are taking a small portion of your organ and they are putting it on a chip and they are growing it. Organ on a chip. And there was a flight, the longest flight journey. Let me show you that. Longest flight journey in the world. The longest non-stop. Right, and this was tested recently. Right, Auckland to Doha. 17.5 hours. Right, and there was another thing which was very recently tested. Let me play that. Let me open that. Yeah. So it has taken actually from Singapore to New York 19 hours. Okay. And basically, it was, to be precise, 18 hours and 13 minutes. They tested this non-stop flight. And what happens when you test a non-stop flight? Why do you think there will be international hubs and there'll be connecting flights? Because if a passenger sits in a flight for continuously for certain number of hours, passengers might feel might experience nausea, they might get vomiting sensation, they might experience certain degraded health conditions. But then when they tested it for the first time, what they have actually done is they have placed chip in the pill. In the pharmaceutical pill, they put a chip, biodegradable chip, and then they have given it to the passengers. Passengers were assured that it would not cause any harm, right? And then it will get just digested. And they were capturing the details such as other heart conditions, BP, and the various other symptoms of the human body. Is it intact or not? Right from the start until the end of the flight. Amazing, right? Pharma industry has amazing applications. All we know is pills are manufactured, medicines, right? Tablets are manufactured, but we do not know what happens beyond that. So Google Glass, while people do surgery, this Google Glass also has audio mechanism which will actually tell the doctor that, hey doctor, you are doing a surgery and you forgot scissors inside the body of the person, right? Patient. And these kind of things we keep hearing, right? In news that doctor forgot syringe inside the stomach and then he staged. So those kind of issues will come up. Beacons. Beacons are devices which generate data. Smart wheelchairs, sensors in drug delivery devices. And do you know what? There is a company called as Pathcare Labs. Let me show you that as well. Since I'm a chief data scientist on Brontobite Analytics, and since there is a person from Pathkid Labs, Dr. Srinivas also, who was part of this project. Dr. Rashmi Chibri was part of the project. That's me. Right? And when we built this cancer prediction model, uh, they were actually a lot happy. And they spoke to us about a specific project wherein they were saying that people take the test samples. It could be a tumor, it could be a blood, it could be urine, whatever way. And then they have to transport these, you know, for testing and give it to Parquet Labs for testing within a stipulated time frame. If they increase the time frame, the organ, or probably say you have taken a tumor for biopsy and it did not reach the test lab on time. So even if you do a test, it doesn't work. If you ask the patient to once again come, and if you say, patient, I need to again take out your tumor for biopsy, obviously patient will be extremely unhappy. So can we continuously track on whether that is getting delivered on time or not? Yeah, all these things basically, wearable devices. There was a project which was recently done, and I will also tell you what happens. You know, in US market, if a patient gets readmitted to the hospital within 30 days, okay, of getting discharged, say you discharge the person on 30th of August, and the patient got readmitted on 25th of September. So it's within 1 month that the patient is getting readmitted. If the patient gets readmitted within 1 month, then the hospital will lose certain benefits which the US government provides to the hospitals. So they are very particular about that. So what they are doing is they are building prediction models to predict on who are the people who might get readmitted to the hospital. That is called as patient readmission prediction model. So for that, we'll have wearable devices. Okay, many things basically. Wireless body area network, wherein it's going to capture your temperature, blood pressure, heart rate, right? Electrocardiotic ECG details, cardiogram details, respiratory details, so on and so forth. And you know what? Internet of Medical Things, IoT, Internet of Things, Internet of Medical Things, is estimated to be worth $158.1 billion. Trust me, there is huge, huge demand. And people keep asking me this question on what is the difference between AI, data science, and the data mining, machine learning, deep learning, etc. So I keep saying that whatever you do, data science or data mining or machine learning or deep learning, all these are the concepts, techniques. Whatever techniques you resort to, ultimately you need to build an AI application. You end up building an AI application. For example, predicting cancer. You use a lot of deep learning concepts, machine learning concepts, data mining concepts, data science concepts, and then ultimately what do? The moment there is this radiology and pathology image which is submitted to your algorithm, it will automatically predict on whether patient has cancer or not. Whether the tumor is benign or malignant. So ultimately you're ending up building an AI application. Okay, next. Is it amazing world and market that we are living in? Oh yes, sure. Do you know what? We are the only 360 Digit MG. We are the only company in India who has exclusive rights to use Panasonic use cases. Panasonic India Innovation Center. Panasonic has created nursing care bed. Okay, and It has amazing capabilities basically, and the market is supposed to grow by 20% every year, 20% growth. So it's the amazing times that we are, living in when it comes to life sciences, healthcare, and pharma. Google artificial intelligence beats the doctors at breast cancer detection. Then people are using diabetic retinopathy. That is, when you have diabetes, it's going to impact your eye first, right? So scanning your retina and then determining whether you will become a diabetic patient or not. AI is helping pathologists in predicting cancer, right? Healthcare startups are, growing in a big way. And look at this. There is a French startup company and a pharma firm. They announced a research collaboration in AI for new drug design. So what people are doing now is they are making use of AI and deep learning concepts and data science concepts in coming up with the new drug in less time. And trust me, thanks to COVID-19, the kind of applications and the kind of maturity a lot of pharmaceutical companies are displaying is amazing when it comes to AI, applications of AI. And Accenture, you all might say, hey, Accenture is an IT company, right? But we have pharmacy students. We would be looking at probably Dr. Reddy's or Aurobindo Pharma or maybe Novartis. Yeah, those are the companies that we need to target for employment. Is that not true? Absolutely wrong. Don't be in that myth. Absolutely wrong. Right? Is Accenture into pharma? No. But they are a consulting firm which has 350 employees specialized in AI and big data, primarily working with healthcare and financial services. Let me show you this also and demystify the myth. Let me see if everything is hunky-dory yet. So now, friends, I'll look at your messages and I'll answer towards the end. Probably I will take good 10 minutes time to answer your questions, but don't get into too much of depth as to explain about that use case by going into the depth, etc. Because of lack of time. Yeah? This is scheduled for an hour. We have another half an hour time, so just bear with me on that. And look at Accenture, for instance. What are the industries that Accenture works in? If you want to know that, look at this: life sciences, healthcare, to some extent chemicals. These are all related to your industry, your stream, and then when you learn data science or AI, you become industry agnostic. What does that mean? You are applicable in all the companies who operate in these industries. Okay, if that is the case, do you think Infosys also has these industries? Oh yeah, Infosys is an IT company, right? Then how come they are in the space of healthcare? How come they are in the space of life sciences? Of course, because data science and AI is something which is not restricted to any specific industry. And you all have your careers very bright and very clear. It's just about upskilling yourself in the right manner. Be it Infosys, TCS, Wipro, HCL, Microsoft, you name it, basically. You will have the presence. You'll have your presence felt in those companies if you go and join those companies. Of course, they will give you first preference if they want to hire a data scientist or an AI expert in these industries, life sciences, healthcare, etc. Any company for that case. So it's all about looking at the right picture. Let me open Deloitte. What industries Deloitte operates in. Look at this, life sciences and healthcare. When you delve deep into that, life sciences, healthcare, you will find sectors One of the sectors is pharmaceutical sector. So please do not confine your growth and your thought process assuming that you have to work only in a specific industry. Let me give you another example of Innodatatics. Innodatatics has been rated as the 20 most promising data analytics solution providers for 2018. Okay, and we work in the space of life sciences and healthcare in a big way. And recently, one of our participants who got trained through us has joined Novartis. Ravi is his name actually, right? And he's working as a senior data scientist there. And do you know what? He has absolutely no knowledge about pharmacy. He's an MBA graduate. And just imagine someone with pharmaceutical knowledge having knowledge of data science and AI. You would be like a hot cake. You will sell like a hot cake in the market. Any company would like to hire you. Okay, next. There is a specific pharmaceutical company, one of the top-notch companies here in Hyderabad. It's there, you all know that. But then without naming that company name, let me tell you on what kind of project we have done for them. See, whenever you think about implementing analytics or data science or AI in pharmaceutical company, you need to look at outwards and inwards. When I say look outwards, look at what is going to happen in a pharmaceutical company. Of course, there'll be a research wing who does research. There'll be a manufacturing wing. Right? After you manufacture, you have to go and sell your products, sell your medicines, drugs in the market. You need to do some kind of marketing around that. And what are the inputs which are given? So you always have to focus upon what inputs go into a pharmaceutical company and what are the outputs which come out. And do you know what? Analytics can be applied here, analytics can be applied here, analytics can be applied here. Majorly, people get sidetracked when they assume that analytics is applicable only in this space. How are you going to get the inputs? From where are you going to get the inputs? Is there the cheapest way? Supply chain analytics to get your raw material. After your formula is well formulated, manufacturing has to start in a big way, so raw material is needed. Okay, the formula, etc. It has to be done in a very, very strict environment. And then when you manufacture, who are you going to serve the output? How are you going to serve those medicines which are manufactured? Everywhere analytics is used. And here I'm going to explain a specific use case about within this pharmaceutical plant, what we have done. We have done two projects. I'll first speak about the first project. First project is, they had assembly line wherein there were six different machines which were manufacturing the medicines for acidity, gastric problems. And when we started our analysis, we found that all these machines were generating data using some sensors, like sound sensors, vibration sensors, temperature sensors, because if your machines get heated beyond a temperature, it breaks down. And then we took that data and we started building prediction model on when will the machine break down. It's called as preventive maintenance. If we were to predict upfront that, you know what, this machine will break down at this point of time, etc. And if those alerts go to the technicians will go and fix the issue upfront. Right? These technicians will go and fix the issue beforehand. And proactively, you are ensuring that the machine doesn't fail unwarranted. Because when we ask them on, hey, how does your manufacturing process work? They told, do you know what? We work in 3 shifts. 24/7 manufacturing happens 365 days. Despite this, with 6 different machine and assembly lines, do you know what? There is 30% dearth in the market. We are falling short by 30% when it comes to gastric and acidity issues. We are not able to cater to everyone. That is what they were saying. And just imagine your machine failing for 2 hours or 3 hours. Or on an average, if it fails for 10 hours in a month, that means one whole day production will stop. Even if you consider one day of downtime, one day in bits and pieces, 30 minutes, half an hour, whatever be, so on and so forth, all put together, if you count, if it's 10 hours, that means you're effectively losing one shift. If they're working in morning, noon, and evening, one shift worth of effort is wasted. As such, you are not able to meet the market needs, and there is 30% shortage in the market, and this will add to it. So we have done this. We have taken the data from sensors, we built preventive maintenance model, we send the alerts proactively to the technicians. Technicians would proactively go and fix the issue. Next, if you look at this use case that we have done a few years back on clinical trials, what we have done is we have extracted the data from clinicaltrials.gov. Back then, when we have worked on this project, I was working with Deloitte. Okay, and this was a project that we have done with Deloitte. So a few things I might not be able to disclose, but nevertheless, let me show. We have gone to clinicaltrials.gov. This is a forum where all the clinical trials information has to be uploaded. And back then there was 160,000 odd research studies. Now it's almost more than double. So you have 350,000 research studies in all 50 states and 260 countries, 50 states of United States of America and 216 states. So what we have done is we have downloaded the data, basically XML files. Okay, let me click on search. Let me take one of those in this download just to show you. XML file. Okay, this is how the clinical trial would look like. Okay, we took a lot of data. I mean, this is the smallest of the things, such as what medicines are being given, what combination of molecules are given, right? For these interventions are given for what condition, for how long, who are the people who are getting involved in the clinical trials, right? So on and so forth. And then we have done this analysis. The company who has approached Deloitte to do this project is one of the gold standard companies across the globe. It's a US based firm. And they were saying that, you know what, we want your data scientists to help us understand on why the clinical trials are failing. Then, do you know what, 350,000 clinical trials today. You cannot possibly sit and read each and every clinical trial. It would take months together. All we have done is we have resorted to statistical programming language, R. You can also use Python. And we have done such analysis. When we have done a unigram analysis, one word, single word, these kind of words were catching the attention. Accrual, enrollment, low, slow, lag, terminated, and safety. Safety caught our attention. Hey, are the clinical trials failing because of safety reason? But with single words, it will not help. So what we have done is we have gone ahead with bigram, 2 gram words. And here it was clear, pretty clear that slow accrual, slow enrollment, low accrual, low enrollment. Now with 2 words, I'm able to make sense. And lack of funding, safety issues, safety concerns. Oh, are clinical trials failing because of safety concerns and safety issues? Then what we have done is, back then there were 160,000 clinical trials, which were listed in clinicaltrials.gov. And then when we open that and when we try to do a search for this word safety concerns, we found that in 100% of cases, it was written as no safety concerns. In 100% of places, it was written as no safety concerns. While our data was saying that there are safety concerns, safety issues, there were no safety concerns. And this is called a semantic network, basically. All those 160,000 clinical trials put together, it will spill out this small semantic network. By reading at this, you come to know. For example, detailed description or reason behind termination, if you were to look at it in this way, detailed description or reason for termination could be lack of or slow or insufficient funding. You have to stitch those kind of, you have to make out those kind of things. Right? And rather than reading 165,000 clinical trials, it is better to spend probably 8 hours time, trying to figure out what is here. And then you get a story around it. In that way, we have done clustering, so on and so forth. So what would this help the pharmaceutical company with? It will help ensure that the mistakes that people are doing in terms of pharmaceutical or new drug, basically new drug discovery, can be reduced using AI. Okay, next, quickly let me move on here. And let me show you that, we have also bought lung X-ray images for COVID-19, and we started looking at the data, lung X-ray images to determine whether patient has COVID-19 or not. We have also worked in the space of, DNA sequencing. This is the program that we use. Okay, and then many things is what we have done in that way. Okay, now I can also show you this, that sample for breast cancer. This is what we have done. We got the images from radiology and pathology, and we classified the images in this way: dense, benign, calcification. Calcification means this is calcification, calcium deposits. Okay, that means patient might have cancer, might have, not guaranteed. Okay. So these are the various applications that we have. Cigna uses AI to check if patients are taking their medicines or not. Remember the chip, biodegradable chip within the pill? This is what it is. For people with experience in sports or physiotherapy, etc., then you can predict the injuries. Singapore has recently approved AI for vascular ultrasound scans, and a lot of prediction models are in place to predict the cancer. And we have physician burnout, especially at the time of COVID-19. Doctors are working for 18 hours, etc. That burnout can be reduced significantly if you have AI. Early AI adopters beginning to see success predicting readmissions. Who are the people who might get readmitted to the hospital? Speeding drug development. A Hong Kong biotechnology startup, in silico medicine, right? They're working with University of Toronto researchers. Using machine learning, they're developing within 46 days a potential new drug to prevent tissue scarring. Within 46 days, look at the pace at which things are moving, right? And they are using something called as reinforcement learning, which is machine learning concept, to rapidly design 30,000 new molecules and then narrow them down to 6. Wow, right? In that way, you look at it, it's awesome place and awesome time that we are in. By 2020, AI will create more jobs than it eliminates, right? In 2021, AI augmentation will generate 2.6 trillion. That's the amount. Growth in AI healthcare is expected to reach $6.6 billion by 2020. That's a 40% annual growth. If you are not going to get a job, okay, I mean, God forbid, you all would get job, I'm sure. But if you do not, that means you have to upskill yourself. Simple. I keep listening this. You know what, expert speaks and all that. And one sentence caught my attention. World has the money to pay. Companies have the money to pay. But they will pay you only what you're worth for. If you're worth being paid 10,000 per month, they'll pay 10,000 per month. If you're worth being paid 1 lakh per month, they will pay 1 lakh. So where do you want to fall? How much do you want? Is left up to you. Okay. And look at this. Investment in AI in the Indian healthcare industry appears to be growing in a very big way. Opportunities and opportunities for you all. Be it clinical trial participation identifier or preliminary diagnosis or dosage error reduction, we have huge demand, and that's what Accenture says. Okay. One last thing before I start taking your questions. There is this smart hospital which we have contributed to this particular project, smart hospital, for a Malaysian-based company, wherein if you are booking an appointment with a doctor, all you need to do is open the mobile application of that hospital, do a video recording of yours for 6 seconds, enter your vehicle details and all that, and then that's it. You book your appointment. When you reach the hospital in your vehicle, okay, here you'll have a gate. Here you'll have IoT sensor. This IoT sensor will scan your vehicle number, and if your vehicle number is something which is already provided, and if you have an appointment now, automatically the gate would open up, and then the vehicle will enter inside. If it's outside, GPS will work. Inside the cellar parking area, GPS signals are weak, so you'll have geofencing. And using geofencing and height sensor, it will direct you to the nearest parking lot which is available. Go park your vehicle, go to the hospital. Here, there'll be a machine like this here that's not visible. If you stand in front of that machine is going to capture your face, and it will say that, okay, you have an appointment. And then it will direct you to all these instruments which are called as do it yourself. You measure your height and weight, and you sit on this, measure your BP, and then measure your body temperature. All those details will be visible here. And then even before you go to the doctor, say you're the patient, and you have to visit physician. Physician already has all these vital information with him. And physician also has a Bluetooth. Okay, using Bluetooth, entire conversation between the patient and the doctor is captured, and it is stored in a database digitally. Because otherwise, the conversations are not recorded. And you throw the prescription form somewhere there in the store. And then after the conversation, all the details will be shared on your mobile application. You go and stand here at the next machine after your meeting conversation. Then automatically it will scan your face and it will generate bill for you. You can pay the bill using credit card or debit card or cash. All those options are available. The moment you make the payment, you switch over to the next ATM looking machine. I mean, it appears as if it's an ATM machine, but it's not. And then again, it will scan and recognize that, hey, this is what you are. And then it will dispense your medicines here. And behind the scenes, robots will be working. Robots will scan and keep a track of all those medicines which are expired or about to expire. So they'll take care of all those things and just dispense and walk away. What an amazing times we are living in, right? These are a few of the applications, and we have worked very closely with by taking radiology images, pathology images, and we have built cancer prediction models. This is pathology image. I'm sure you all are aware of pathology, right? So what happens is basically if you're a physician and if there is a patient who has symptoms of cancer, you'll ask that patient to go and visit a radiologist. Radiologists will ask you to get MRI scan images or radiology images. They'll analyze that. If they feel no, they are still in doubt, then they will ask you to go to a pathologist. What would a pathologist do? Pathologist will prick a needle, take a trace of tumor, and then place it on a glass plate, put some liquid, spread it. Under microscope, they check whether it is cancerous or not. Or using some image processing tool, they do that. Each image was of size of 1.5 GB. You cannot even open it on your typical computers. So then you get different portions of the images, you break it down into multiple tiles, and then work on those tiles to predict whether people have cancer or not. And having said that, two quick things. Friends, there is this learning resources which are available for data science. We have a digital book. Today night, the field version will be live, but now also you can just download that. Mind map, interview questions, case studies. This is coming soon. You might want to have a look at this, and we will put pharmaceutical use cases and life sciences healthcare use cases here. You might want to certainly look at this, and you can continue. This video will be placed on our YouTube channel. I've already shared the YouTube link with you all. Just subscribe and click on this notify so that the moment this video is uploaded or any video of that kind, you get to know about that. There we go. That's the video. Okay. Now let me look at your questions and take your questions. Yeah, Rajiv, we will be sharing with you the recorded video. In that, anyways, the slides will be there. And why are cancer cells and varied not predicted much? No, they are predicting now, Srinivas. And I've shown you that use case here, wherein, you know what? It's now using AI models. Yeah. Google artificial intelligence beats doctors at breast cancer detection. And they're also using this data for prediction purpose. There are a lot of algorithms. So that is there. It's a field, right? It will emerge slowly and steadily. And which course or tools or software area would you recommend pharmacists? See, I would recommend you guys this one. If you go to our courses, domain analytics, there is something called as life sciences and healthcare analytics. This is something that I would strongly recommend. We'll anyway share this URL also. Python and R are the tools to do our work. Pharmacists can only use AI, but cannot develop the lacking knowledge. So how or where the pharmacists do. Hey, you can I would obviously promote ourselves, right? But then we are the one of the leading companies who provides life sciences and healthcare analytics with a lot of use cases in the space of pharmaceutical, industry as well. They insert chip in that, and yeah, that would be a very lengthy discussion. Wristbands will capture your say it will capture your steps taken and all that basically. And if you're a patient and daily you wake up at 6 a.m. and take 20 steps on a specific day you have not, that means you would have missed out, right? Taking medicine. And it will also wristbands also that those are called as wearable devices. They capture a lot of information such as how many calories you have burned, right? How many hours were you half asleep, deep asleep? Those kind of details are also captured. Yeah, with respect to certificate, we from the backend have captured your attendance and will be sharing with you all the details. Yeah. Any other questions for us? Okay. If you have no questions, then you know what this is what I would ask you guys to do. And if you want to give feedback, I'm going to share the link with you all. And I would rather go with our annual page. And yeah. So friends, I'm going to share this link with you all. Okay, here you can give the reviews basically. Okay, and do you see here write a review? Okay, here is where you have to click and you need to log into your account and you can give a review. Right. So I request you all to give a review if possible. And this is the link. Or we will be pinging the link also in the WhatsApp, not WhatsApp. We'll be sending that link to you guys. Okay, on your um, phone numbers. Whoever has registered and on an email, will be sharing the details and you can give the feedback. Any questions specifically for me? Hope you found this session useful. And if you have any questions, as I've told you, you can reach out to me on my LinkedIn profile, or you might want to, drop an email to us. However, whatever you feel is valid, and make best use of learning resources. We are coming up with a lot of pharmaceutical use cases also in this, and it will have amazing use cases on what techniques are being used and all that. It will help you a lot. And this video will be recorded and placed on our YouTube channel. Here is our YouTube link once again. Please subscribe and notify. Yeah, Dr. Biswa and Dr. Ravi, anything for me? If you have any questions, you are free to ask, friends. Do not hesitate. Do not.
Sir, one question is there, sir.
Yeah,
Sir,
yeah.
how we are using this computational approach merging with this artificial intelligence? How it is useful?
How is it useful in pharmacy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we are using some docking studies or some drug designing softwares. So it just like a software related to drug design, or you can apply for other purpose.
Okay, so in order to build AI applications, majorly people use Python and R. Okay, there are two softwares. Okay, one is called as Python, another is called as R. And when you use Python or R, you can actually write a program to do the predictions. So Python, R, majorly we use these. These both are open source tools. You need little bit of programming knowledge, not heavy, but little bit. And then you can use those to build the prediction models. All these things that I've shown you with respect to cancer prediction model, or with respect to clinical trials, all these charts, etc. that I'm showing you, is generated using R or Python. So what you do is you take your XML files from clinicaltrials.gov clinicaltrials.gov. You download all your XML files and give those XML files as input to your programming languages such as Python or R. And you write an algorithm within this. These algorithms are already built algorithms. You just need to know which algorithm to be applied. And the moment you apply that, it will spill out the results for you. And the results will be like this. These kind of visualization plots. This kind of visualization plot will come out as an output. So input would be your data. Output would be whatever you desire. It could be a prediction of these kind of visualizations. And you have to bring in your human aspect into this, and then you have to take decisions accordingly. Hope that answers your question, Dr. Biswa.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think participants have no queries about this. They have enjoyed a lot your presentation. So we are very thankful to you, sir, for readily accepting our invitation to conduct this webinar on artificial intelligence and its application in pharmaceutical science. It is a very emerging area in our pharmacy and healthcare sectors. So thank you, sir, for your nice presentation and interactive sessions. So in the current COVID-19 pandemic situation, we are searching some new drugs which can use for the treatment of coronavirus infections. So from this presentation, we conclude that the various computational approaches like drug designing or molecular drugging, so this technology can be merged with this artificial intelligence or machine learning, deep learning or data science to accelerate the drug development process. So this technology can also be applied in your clinical trials to get the drug in to meet the need of this current pandemic situation. So we are grateful to sir for sharing your valuable time with us. We are also thankful to the Dr. Mohan and Anuj Joy sir for designing this program voucher and registration process. And we are also thankful to the director sir and our chairperson ma'am for giving this support to arrange this webinar. We are also thankful to the faculty member of RIPS for their constant support. So last but not least, we are thankful to all principals and participants of various institutions of India for their active participation and active learning. So thank you all for making this webinar with grand success. Thank you, Bharani sir, for your valuable time with us.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Biswa. And one question someone asked, can AI be helpful for predicting trials of various vaccines? Absolutely. AI is being used in leaps and bounds to reduce the time taken to complete the clinical trial and to deliver on time. Second question is, what are the challenges faced while implementing AI in life sciences industry, as this work is highly regulated? Absolutely, my dear friend. Well said. So, do you know what? There are two things which are coming out. One is called as ethical AI, meaning if I want to build a prediction model to predict heart stroke, and do you know what? This previous models that were built were majorly biased because they were taking data of only men. Okay, what about women? They weren't taking a lot of data pertaining to women, but women also get heart stroke. Right? So if you do not consider women data in building your models, you're being biased. Number one. Number two. And in terms of ethical AI, people are also looking at, for example, in US, for clinical trials, majority of the people who are enrolling for the clinical trials are Latino people and Black. That means you're being biased. Your genes and genetics would be very different, right? Based on various races. So you need to have equal representation from each of the races. before you say that that clinical trial is a success. So ethical AI and the organization bodies are ensuring that they raise these kind of issues up. And another thing is, if you use deep learning algorithms in building any kind of technique, according to, if you are doing it in European Union countries, then according to European Union General Data Protection Regulation, there has to be explainability. What does that mean? Your model cannot just say that, do you know what, you'll have cancer. No. If the patient says, explain, why do you think I'm going to have cancer? Then you have to explain, failing which you'll be penalized as a hospital or a physician. So whichever model you're building, if there is no explainability component attached to it, then the patients can actually sue you. Okay. To that extent, it is regulated in terms of life sciences sector. But yeah, long way to go.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir, for a nice explanation. So for the participants, you can send feedback form to fill the feedback form to get your e-certificates. So please coordinate for this feedback form.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So much. And thank you, Roland Group, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Dr. Ravi. Thank you, Dr. Vishwa. Thank you, Ms. Jayalakshmi. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
You all will be receiving a message from our side, and then you can fill the feedback and get your certificates. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay.